Hi, grade 1 friends. So you've watched Mrs. Packard talk about how we're starting our measurement unit, and she said the word reference. And a referent it could be anything in your house. And so we talked about a few of those things. So here I have part of a deck of cards. I've also got some markers. These could be used as reference, but they should all be the same type of marker. So if they're all Crayola or all smelly markers, they should be the same because they have to be the same length. Maybe it's unsharpened pencils. Maybe you've got a whole bunch of cars, some toys that you could use. And I know lots of us have Lego at home, but if you're using Lego, oops, before I almost drop all those, they should be the same length of Lego. So if you're going to use smaller pieces or the longer pieces, just make sure that those pieces that you use are all the same length. Today we're going to do a little demonstration, and I'm going to get Mrs. Proby to jump in and work with me. Here she comes. And we're going to use a deck of cards as reference. And because most of you probably have those at home, and you could ask your families where you keep them if you don't know where they are. And I'm going to lay down right here, and Mrs. Proby is going to show and talk about important things we need to remember when we're using cards to help measure length, how tall something is. And when we talk about length, we usually talk about up and down, from like the floor to the ceiling. So when you think about length, think up and down, okay?
Or you could also think about width, which would go across.
Right.
So both of those are okay for length.
Right.
Right?
Thank you for saying that.
Okay.
Okay, and I'll grab these in case you need some more. I don't think
right.
I'm that tall though, Mrs. Proby. And I'm gonna lie down now. Okie dokie.
So we have a deck of cards here, and if I was going to measure Mrs. Craddock, would I just start like in the middle of her body and start measuring that way and kind of go all over the place? Would this be the kind of measuring that you would want to do?
No way.
No, that's right, Mrs. Packard. All right, we want to start at Miss Craddock's toes or at her head, and when we put the cards down, they all need to go the same direction. So I can't have one card going up and down and one card going sideways. I'm actually going to have all my cards going up and down. So I'm going to start right at Miss Craddock's feet there, and I'm going to set that first card down, and then when I put the other card, can I put it on top like that?
No
Do you think that
way.
is accurate measuring? No. We need to put the card down so that it's touching right at the end and that there's no space in between. You want it right beside. And then you just want to keep going like that. Setting your cards down so they're touching. There's no spaces, there's no overlapping. We're going to go all the way up to the top of Miss Craddock. Might take a bit to get all your things laid down just right.
Especially if they're smaller, right, Mrs. Proby?
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah, if your referent is smaller, you're probably going to need more of them.
Exactly, and you're going to want to think about what you want to use. Like if I was doing paper clips for Miss Craddock the whole way, that'd be a ton of work. I like the cards. They seem like a perfect size. Okay, I feel like I'm at the top of your head. So this looks pretty good. I had to move a little bit for Miss Craddock's hand, but now I want to actually see how long she is. So I want to count the cards one at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Miss Craddock is 14 cards long or 14 cards tall. If I was going to measure her with the cards, do you think that I would get the same answer? Which should be 14 cars tall? I don't think so, because the card looks smaller than the card. And if I use Lego or something else, I would get a different answer as well. It also might be fun after you measure your mom or your dad or your brother or sister, maybe you want to measure someone else in the family, or maybe your dog if it lays still long enough, or your cat. Don't forget, you need to line up your referent so that it's touching, not overlapping, no spaces in between. Starting at one end and going all the way to the other end. All right, I think that's all. Have fun measuring.